Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. I'm so glad we're here. So I see that Diane 57 and Marcia are here, and I'm awfully glad to see you. I know it's a little bright in here right now, but we're working on an art quilt, and I wanted to bring a lot of light to the subject so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Yep, I am doing good. Tomorrow is my test. And until then, I'm just staying busy. So sometimes staying busy is the best you can do. So anyway, I have been very busy on this. I don't know if you remember. Hi, Cheryl. I don't know if you remember when we started working on this quilt. And I showed you my folder, and in the folder, I had collected some edited photos. I took the photo that I wanted to use and edited it so that I had a lot of reference material to work with. So here is the first one I used to do the drawing. And remember that I folded it into 16 equal sections. They happened to be little rectangles this time. That allowed me to enlarge the drawing more easily. This is, whoops, let me grab, I dropped something. This is the color photo that I'm now working from. And the grass area around it, it's going to look pretty much like this. That's what I'm working on now. So since you last saw me, because last week I color blocked the background. You always start with a background because then you build the other pieces on top of it. Much easier. Hi, Teresa Louise. Hello, Robin Boyd. Yes, Robin was was recommended to us by Diane 57, and we're real tickled she's here. So he's an adorable ball of fur and teeth. You probably already know this, but do you have a crate? Because let me tell you, I'll never raise another puppy without having a crate to keep him safe and to help with potty training. But you seem to be pretty animal savvy, so you probably already have one. Yep, Robin Boyd. Teresa Louise has been joining us for the last 2 weeks, and Robin Boyd is a friend of Diane 57's. Good, you do have a crate. I don't know how I ever raised a puppy without a crate, but they do love crates. My 3-year-old Maltese Shih Tzu mix. Yeah, she's laying right back here. Let me show you her. There she is on the rug. Blossom. There's little Blossom. And at nighttime, for a long time, we couldn't quite trust her because we didn't get her until she was like 8 or 9 months old. And she had been kept in a crate the whole time or some kind of little pen. And so she had no idea that, you weren't supposed to go right where you stayed, right where you slept. So she was a slow dog to potty train. So we kept her in the crate at night, and Gromit's on the bed with us. Well, now we trust her better. She's 3.5 years old, so we feel like, okay, or a little over 3, we can let her out. She'll be fine. Oh, no, she'll sit on the bed for a few minutes with us, and then she wants to go get back in her crate. So that is fine. Teresa Louise is here because of Diane 57, too. That's wonderful. Well, I'm tickled. If you ladies want to join, because I've seen both of you at least twice, if you want to join our Groups IO, we used to have a Yahoo group until they started phasing it out, and we love Groups IO now. Hi, Linda McCollums. Good to see you. But you can send me an email at our time to quilt. Let me get my fingers in the right place. At twc.com. gmail.com. And if you send me an email to that, I'll have your email address that way, and I'll be able to send you an invitation to our group. And, oh, I'm sorry, Jody. Oh, on Monday. That's a wonderful idea, Jody. And I'm so sorry you lost your dog. I mean, we lost our 12 and a half year old 2 years ago, and we still aren't over it. Oh, sweetie, I'm sorry. I'll send you a really soft, gentle cyber hug. So, okay. And so, anyway, I forgot. Oh, so if you send me an email to that, I'll send you an invitation to our group. Can you hold on just one moment? I need to ask a question. Hello? Yes, this is her. Yes, ma'am, I sure did. Okay, I'm sorry about that. That was a call from the the imaging practice. And so I had a couple questions to ask. Like, is the machine going to be a very open machine, or is it going to be a closed machine? Because I'm going to have to lay in that thing a long time. Oh, Jody, I am sure. Oh, honey, I'm sorry. I'm so, so sorry. Okay, so you can hear me now, and but I'm sorry I had to take that phone call. I'm surprised they're calling me this late at night. I guess they work whatever hours. But Jody, we will be thinking about you, sweetheart. That is a very hard thing. These pets mean everything to us, especially during this stressful time right now. So we do understand very much. Well, this is a perfect quilt then for you. I wish I had brought it down. Next week, I'll try to remember to bring down. My daughter's a felt artist, and she did a felt portrait of our Mia after we lost her. And for me, it's a great comfort. For Mark, it kind of is so realistic. It kind of makes him sad. But I'll bring it down to show you. And I guess it just depends on how you feel about it and how you're handling it. But what a wonderful way to pay a tribute to your Pop-Pun. So, oh, gee, Diane, that would be hard. Yes, I'm going to. Maybe I'll see if I can. I'll show you the pictures real quick tonight so you can see. He is adorable. So, hi, Dora. So, anyway, last week, you know that I'm going to try to cover up, but I did the blocking in of the background for these pups. And so I used a piece of muslin, and then I glued my strips of fabric on. Then I took a YLI invisible thread, and I did a zigzag stitch across the invisible fabrics. Thank you, Robin. When we're done with this, I will be sending you an invitation, so be looking for it. So now, then after that, I'll show you the next part. Using that method of folding the picture in 16 pieces and then folding the background in 16 pieces, I copied the pups. Okay? So you see how oh, that's a wonderful combination. I like it, but they tend to be a little stubborn with the Shih Tzu. But I like it because my Blossom has a little longer nose and she doesn't have the breathing problems that Shih Tzus can have. So that's wonderful. So here is the second pup I drew. Now, I've been working on this because I needed to keep myself busy, and I think I've made every bead necklace I think I could make. I don't think I have any more beads. So I had some seed beads, and I thought, well, maybe I'll make a necklace out of seed beads. I thought, no, Deb, that's just too thin. So, you ready to see? Now, with one of the dogs, I've started color blocking him. And here he is. Okay, so let me show you the original. In fact, you know what I do? This is a little tool. It's a half round molding that I have put a sealer on, and I use it to iron seams open. But I have found it's real helpful if you want to be able to hold your work up with one hand. So let me push this back. All right, so here is what I'm working on, and here is the photo, okay? So can you see it? Now, I did have a light box to try to get some of the things to shine through, but pretty much what I'm doing is taking my fabric, and I'm doing something a little different. I'm not using as much, thank you, sweetheart. I'm not using as much school glue with this one because some of the pieces are little tiny slivers. So what I'm doing, I'll bring this on down. Thank you, Jody. You do such a good job with shading, and I'm trying it a little bit more because I know there are things that I'm going to use my ink tints. You know, my ink tints is my favorite method of working with art quilts, but I want to use it last. So I want to see what I can get done with fabric. Number one, I try to use mostly fabric, okay? And not pre-printed if I can help it. Now, there's a place for pre-printed, don't get me wrong, but this, I'm trying to use the fabric to create this. And what I did is this is a black and white dog, but it is surprising to see how many different shades there are in a black dog. So I went over to my stash and I got a blue black. I got an ombre black. This goes all the way to a very pale. I love ombres. Ombres are real workhorses in my stash because they have so many different tints and shades. Then I got some grays. This gray was really awesome because it goes from very dark to very light. So it's awesome. And don't forget about the backs of fabrics because you can use the back of a fabric if you need that. Here is a black with brown, which I did use for a lot of him. Here's a pure black. I think I might have something on my lens. Let me just see. Yeah, okay. Then I have a black and gray swirl. Then a black and gray eyelash, another piece of the ombre, and then another piece of that black marble. Then I brought this over just in case. So I had all of these to use here, and I have used 3 or 4 in here, as well as the solid white. And then I have some of this. This particular one is Pellon Fusible Web, and I'm trying to think of which one. The Fusible Web with backing, one-sided pressure-sensitive fusible web, and I really like it. It acts like Steam-A-Seam too, but I find it a little easier to use, a little more lightweight. So here it is right here. And I keep a hunk of this, and some people do this differently. They take a certain size yardage, they fuse the entire back of it, then they cut what they need. I am too stingy. Let me show you. Here are some pieces I've already used. Oh, I just saw this piece of yarn. This scared mark. It was on the floor. Well, the other night when I went to put out chickens, I was walking back in the dark, but there was a little bit of a light, and I saw a 1 foot long snake move between my legs, and luckily, between my feet, and luckily I reacted very quickly and took a wide step because I didn't know what kind of snake that was. And if it was a copperhead, it could give me just as a dangerous bite as an adult. Remember that. Baby snakes have all that venom. So do not take a chance. So here are my little scraps. And I keep all these little scraps until I'm done, because sometimes you just need a thin little piece. But what I did here is, let me find it. I guess I've already used. Here it is. So I just took a square and put it on the back of this, and you can see I've already used a good deal of it. Same thing with this one. I used my scraps to iron on here, and this one has the fusible all over this part. I was using a lot of that. And here's a little piece left over, and often you can just pick up that little piece of fusible. If you cut an unusual shape, stick it under that. But anyway, so these are some of the shades I've used till now. So now, and I'm not saying I'm done with the black and white puppy. I'm going to just leave him there and look at him for a while, because I used a darker, lighter. I've used a few different shades, but I'm going to leave him be. So I'm going to fold him over. And don't forget, save all your scraps, especially if they have fusible on the back. Now I'm going to pull it up and work on this cute pup. And this pup has got black around the muzzle, and she's a light fawn or sandy colored pup. So the first thing I'm going to do is, in this photo, she has her ear open. The way she's leaning her head back, her ear is flopped open. So what I'm going to do is I went and got some of the fabric that I used when I was using a flesh tone. And here that is. And it's kind of a flesh tone with little lines. And I put my fusible on the back. So now I'm going to come up here. I forgot to bring up my better light box, so I'm just going to use this little battery operated one. And it will help me a little bit. Let me turn off my lights. And you can barely see a little bit there. And I'm going to take this. It's going to fill up that whole ear, because this whole thing is open. So now let me get my pencil. And I like using a pencil with a white eraser. Very, very important. Oh, what a good idea, Jody. What a great idea. I love getting... Oh, is anybody in the area of the storms? Diane 57, please tell me it was far away from you in Texas, sweetie. Oh my goodness, I worried about that. So this is not the brightest light box. So sometimes you kind of have to lift it up and go, okay, I see it there. Okay, I see it around here. Lift it up, draw it out. Because it's not working quite the best. I wish I had brought my one from downstairs. But I've got it down there upstairs so that I could start working soon on the diamond painting kit that Miss Cheryl got me for my birthday a while back. And all right, so I think I've got it. If in doubt, cut it a little. Oh no, Jody. Virginia Beach worries you? Yeah, because well, it's by the time it gets there, it's just going to be a lot of rain. I grew up in Virginia Beach. So let me see. Let me make sure this is right. I think it is. If not, I can always cut another one. It's just fabric. Yeah, I was going to tell y'all something too, that this past Sunday I was talking about working on projects and how I read a wonderful editor's column from the AQS magazine about getting bored with a certain project and putting it down, just feeling like it doesn't speak to me anymore. I'm kind of done with it. And so, I'm just trying to figure out where I am. Hold on just a second. But anyway, I wanted to tell you, I was watching a show, and I think it was about Rembrandt. And did you know that a lot of artists would start a painting and never finish it? For whatever reason, they lost the inspiration to work on it. So, hello, Alpha Wolf, how are you? So, I think we might have been taken over, but we will see. All right. If you are real, Rage Dragon, if you are real, Udo, if you are real, you better make us believe it, or else we're going to start blocking you, because we are a quilting group and we're not going to play around. So please be thoughtful and honest, or we will shut you down. All right, so now I just put this ear, and if you see it, that way it looks like the flesh tone skin inside the ear. Thank you. I'm doing a art quilt for a nice young man, and it's his 2 pit bull dogs. So, okay, let me move that over just a little bit. Now, since I'm happy with the way the ear looks, I'm going to iron it down. Okay. Luckily, we've got Diane 57. If they say anything they shouldn't, she'll take care of it. But anyway, so now I've done that. It was that easy. And this is where when I do an art quilt, okay, thank you. If I do an art quilt, I take a white eraser and I erase now any drawing lines that show. White erasers are so important because if you use a red eraser, watch what happens. Look at that. You see what happens? So remember that erasers have dye in them. If they're blue or if they're red. You too. Bye. And so if they're white or red, they're going to be a problem. But that's where a white eraser is not going to leave a mark. So I've almost got this totally gone. Okay. So, all right. So now I think I can take out the light box. You're welcome. Yes, make sure when you draw, that erasers do have dye in them, and that's the last thing you want, because I've had some erasers and you can't. In fact, look what it did to the base of the eraser. It turned it pink. I don't know if you can see good, but it turned it pink. So, okay. All right. Now, let me see. I know I think the white should be what I put. I am going to need the light box because I want to go ahead and get the white in. I usually start with the lightest color and go to the dark. Here we are. Okay. I think I'm going to need to put some more. I need a good size white piece of white. This is not going to do it. Okay. Oh, yes, erasers can do a lot. And, if you have something that you love doing, you don't want to ruin it with an eraser. So just use art gum, which is a brown, kind of a skin tone brown. Use art gum erasers or white erasers only. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and iron this fusible onto the back of a good sized piece of white. Okay, I'll iron it just like that. All right, and here I'm going to press it. And the fusible is wonderful because then once you cut out your shape, you just peel off the paper. The fusible, you can see the shininess. It's sticky. The fusible is there. Look at that. I highly recommend. This is Pellon Easy Steam, and I really, really like it. Oh, good job, Robin. That's the best way to go. That is the best. So now I'm back on the light box. I'm going to get my pencil, and I use a light pencil line, not too strong, just a light pencil line. All right, and then I'm going to make sure I have white fabric covering everywhere I need it. And then I'll quickly just draw this. All right, it comes up like this. And like I say, this is not the best light box. So I'm having to peek under to make sure I'm in the right place. It's like, what in the world are those? Okay. All right, then around here again. Okay. All right, I think I've got it. Okay, now what I'm going to do for this one, yeah, exactly. And what I was going to tell you, what I'm going to do for this one is cut it about 1/4 of an inch beyond the drawn line. Because that way I'm going to overlap. Since this is like the first part you put on, this will be overlapped by the other edges. So it's good to be able to see the line because then you know where to bring the other fabrics. Okay, here we go. All right. Here we go. Okay, there. All right, then I'll put the white out of the way. And there's a couple different ways you can remove the paper. Oh yeah, mechanical pencil's nice. My only problem is I'm left-handed, and for whatever reason, I grip my pencil too hard. I break a lot of mechanical lead. So, in fact, I keep this little pencil sharpener right handy because, but did you see what I just did? I took a straight pen and I just scored the paper. Okay? So now then I can just peel it off and then place it, making sure that I'm happy where it is, checking this. It's good I left the light box here because that helps me position this correctly. And see how it sticks, but you can easily lift it back up? I really like this Pellon Easy Steam. Pellon, here's the name of it. Pellon Easy Steam. I like it. All right, so now I'm double checking around it. Look, it got a little off down here. Oh. Okay, so I'll lay it out good, and now let's iron it. Okay. All right. I'm doing this quilt for a young man that my daughter teaches. Real nice young man. And he's an artist. In fact, he did the line drawing that I'm using for this. So I'm very excited to be doing this for him. And when he saw that I was able to do animals with quilts, he said, "Can I hire you to do this?" Well, he's such a nice young man. I was like, that would be my pleasure to do that for you. Okay, so now I'm going to need another one for this puppy's chest. And I'm trying to look here. I'm probably going to have to get another piece of the Easy Steam. I don't know how long I've had this, but I really, really like it. The only problem I'm having with it is it's been rolled up for so long that it kind of has pulled away a little bit. So it's going to make wrinkles on the back, but that's okay. All right, I think I'm just going to put the next piece right here and just press this on. And that'll give me a big enough piece to cut the neck. So let me get my light box again. All right, so what kind of What kind of things have you been doing since I saw you last? Okay, let's see. Sorry, had hoped to have all this cut out, but I was just enjoying working with the cute little black and white dog so that I didn't get this done. So, let's see. Gotta make sure I keep this in one place. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and add, for whatever reason, I drew a little foot in here, so I'm going to add that. All right, I think I've got it correct. So now I'll go back. You're working on a lake and mountain. Oh, lake and mountain. That's wonderful. Terrific. Fantastic. Marsha's working on 2 types of projects, looking for new tools. Excellent. And when I show pictures, remind me to show you Marsha did a journal, and I really like it. So I love to hear what you're working on. In fact, this week, I don't know if you can see, but on my portable design wall right there, I've been working on my curved quilt that I started back in January, back when we had a normal life, and I had gone to a week-long quilt class, and I thought, I'd like to finish that. And, and I almost forgot. Remember to add 1/4 of an inch to the drawing you did. Add 1/4 of an inch, because I would like what comes next to overlap this. And I want to tell you, too, if you ever see lately, when I work with fusibles, I end up cutting paper as well as fabric. And this is a Fiskars scissor sharpener. Probably paid $12 or $15 for it. You put your scissors in and just close them. And it runs them across the blades. And then I turn them over to the other side and run them. And it makes sure that the blades are straight and sharp. I do it usually over a trash can in case there's any metal shavings. And then off I go cutting again, because I don't know where I could find a scissor sharpener person, but I can just do it myself. So, and then, I'm hard. I use scissors a lot. And this way I try to buy all the Fiskar type scissors that have the springs that make it easy for me, because, I do have arthritis and I do have big hands, and trying to put my hands in normal scissor openings is not such a good thing. So, okay, let's see. I'm hoping I got it right, and we'll get ready and test it. And I think that where I ended up putting the new Pellon is wonderful. And let me tell you too, especially now that we're not able to go shopping like we used to, I'm going to make sure I keep stocked up on things like Pellon, because you know what? It sits there and you think you've got it until you use it. Then, before you know it, you've got none of it. And I'm not doing much shopping in person nowadays. You applicate a leaf front. I'd love to see photos. That'll be great. Send me photos at the Our Time to Quilt, and then I'll show them to the group if you don't mind. And so you're making your fabric design on bleached muslin. That's wonderful. That's wonderful, Linda. Yep, that's what I so often say I stay stocked up on fusible interfacing, bleached muslin or unbleached even, because I use that for my backgrounds for my art quilts and my landscape quilts. And so, and then fusible. So, fusible adhesives like this. So you just learn when you get into art quilting, landscape quilting, you stock up on those things. Stock up on invisible thread, light and dark. They call it smoky and clear. Now let me turn this off before my batteries run out. It takes like C-size batteries, which I normally don't keep around. All right, now I'll be able to turn this light back on. I'm hoping you can see it good enough. Let me know if you can't. Uh-oh. Okay. Our Time to Quilt at twc.com. Okay. So, okay, here we go. Now let me figure out how I put this on. Oops, and be careful because since the adhesive is sticky, sometimes it'll stick to itself. Yikes. If it does that too badly, I can always get out a little white glue. So do be careful because it tends to want to stick to itself. Okay. Here's one little foot that's going to go down here. One little foot. You know, I shouldn't have done an extra 1/4 of an inch where these feet are. Oh, well. Maybe I can push it up. I pushed it up a little. Okay. And see, I kind of covered over the edge here with his nose. And then this goes up. Let me see. Hold on. So I have to kind of align this with lines I've already drawn. Okay, while I can still see through, I'm going to lightly pencil in where his nose goes and his little mouth. Just lightly pencil this in. I don't want to lose that. So see how I just lightly penciled in where his nose is? What gets tricky for the black dog is you lose his eyes, but I'll add those later. And I've got a trick I'm going to try. I'll go ahead and tell you this trick. I'm hoping it works, but I want to make realistic looking eyes. I thought, what if I took a gloss, decoupage, or some kind of fabric sealant, and after I color the eyes and get the eyes just like I want, go over them with that fabric sealer. I don't know if it'll work, but I'm going to try it here. This is how I learn. I can try on a scrap. I don't have to worry. Okay, so now I've got the white for this puppy. All righty, let's see. All righty. Okay, I've got his ear. I've got white. I think I'm going to start around the muzzle first. This is going to be tricky to find just the right color because his muzzle has some black in it. To get it right, you know what I may have to do? I may have to use my ink tints. I will see, but his muzzle's kind of a gray. So let me try. It's a gray with some brown in it. I don't know. I'm not sure this one's going to be right. Yes, you can. You can, you can pull this up, put it back down and iron it. It doesn't always stick as good as the first time, but I will definitely use any of these pieces of fabric that have the Pellon on it. So that's Pellon Easy Steam. I'm real happy with it. All right, so now I have the white. I have it on his paw. Oh, I didn't put any on the back paw. While I'm doing this, let me get the back paw covered. All right. Now, I like working with all of one color. So let me see. I'm trying to figure out where is, okay. Whoops. All right. Let me come here. All right, then I'll peel this off. I like how this has that automatic stickiness on it. You know what? I hope I didn't draw it. Sometimes I forget and draw it the wrong way, but let me see. No, I got it right. Okay. Sometimes you have to be careful you don't draw it on the paper side because then that means you have to flip it over to put it on, and that would be a mess. Now here, remember I told you I shouldn't have gone quite this far down? Well, then all you do is you kind of lift it up and you cut back along the line, and because that's not going to be covered over. So anywhere along the bottom where the ground shows through, and then see this piece I just cut off, it still has the sticky on it, so I can use this somewhere else. All right, let's get this muzzle going. I'm thinking I'm going to go in first, trying this color. I just love this. Look at that. Let me see. No, I have no idea what fabric line it is because it was a fat quarter and the selvage with the marking is gone. Sorry about that, but okay. Here's the piece that I already have that still has some. Okay. Let's see. This would work pretty good around his eye. Now, sometimes you can't see the pencil line very good. So what I do is I have one of these white chalk pencils, fabric marking pencils. And this is a Clover. And it has the brush in the back, and it's been working beautifully. So I'm going to come in here, and I noticed he's got this dark over this eye, and it comes down here. So I'm going to come in and draw this. And come up to that. Whoops. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Okay, I'm going to cut this top part out. Just sometimes I'll pre-cut just to make sure I'm doing the right thing. And I remember how I just show you that have fun with it. Don't worry so much about it. So let me see. Yes. Then, so now that I know I like where this is located, I'll come up here and draw here and across here and down to here. Okay. And then around his eye, in and down. All right, so let's see if this will work. And I might not have the fusible adhesive exactly where I need it, but don't worry, I can always lift that part up, and I can always lift that part up. Okay, let me see what I've got. And let's say I cut too much of this out. Well, I can always add another little piece on it. Remember, when I'm all done with this, I'm going to use an invisible thread and go back over this. Okay. All right. Let me see. No, not. Okay. Okay. I like it. I'll take off a couple pieces of paper. I'll put some school glue on it. Diana Wright is here. Yay! Let me tell you, if any of you have nice quilts that you're looking for, a show quality quilter, that is our Diana Wright. How are you doing, Diana? Oh, I was so glad you were up further north, but we were wondering. Okay, so now let me put this in right here. All right. So let me clean up some of this. So now I've got around his eye in the muzzle. And let's say that, I try to use the real fabric, but let's say I need it in some places to be a little lighter. That's when I'll use my ink tints. All right, now I need to come down the side of this muzzle. So I'll get the rest of this, and let me figure out. Let me cut off this string part. Okay. This is kind of come on here. I get that white chalk, the white marker again. Okay. Being very careful to mark my lines. Let me see. Sometimes I like to cut some of the hard things first because if I make a mistake, then I can cut a new one. Okay, let's see. All right. And all of these lines are really important because that's how I make the dog's muzzle look very realistic. So now I'm happy with this. I think I want to emphasize this line just a little bit more. So I'm going to come in here and cut it a little deeper. Okay. So here. There we go. I like that. Now I'm going to come in with this pencil. All right. Now I'll cut this line. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I'll try to look often enough so I can give you an answer. But I like to kind of show you the process and why I do. Sometimes it's not what you do as much as why you do what you do. Oh, I know. Has this been the worst year? Yeah, it has adhesive on some parts, and if they're like this part right here, I'll put glue on it. But first, I'm going to try it on the spot, and this goes right across his nose. So this actually has to move up a little bit more. So I'm going to cut this to more of a point. Okay, this has to move up. And cut this out just a touch more. Okay, because I really want this little part. Let me show you. See on his muzzle, it is a little half moon and then almost another half moon. And I have to get that right if I want him to look like he's got a defined face. So I'm going to come in here and put it right up here. I think I need to cut more. Let me put it back in place. I'm having a hard time seeing this. So one of the problems is I have to get it in place here and then cut. I had too much showing. Okay. It was confusing me. I didn't know where to put it. So bring it back down here. Okay. Then all right, let me try this again. All right. And you know, if you get too far off, then do it again. Start again because it's too important to have it right. So, all right. I think I've got it right. I'm going to take off. And this, now that I've trimmed it even more, it's really got enough adhesive to hold it. So I'm going to just peel it off carefully. And let's get it into place. Make sure I don't have any threads or anything in the way. Okay, so now I've gotten more gray on that muzzle. And to make sure that I will take my Inktense pencils. All right, take care, Diana. Tell Marty we said hi, sweetheart. All right, so I've got it in his ear. I've got the white on here. Let me clean up some of this mess. If you don't keep your area cleaned up, you're liable to get confused of what is what and accidentally iron something down where it doesn't belong. All right. Before I go, because it's just about time for me to go, I'm going to get some brown in here, kind of flesh out this puppy. So, and that way you'll get to see a little more. Now I'm going to use this in some of the areas like down here. So that's going to be one of the ones I use. Maybe some of this. Oh, can't use this one. The grass is this one. Or can I? Nah, I don't. Let me see. I was thinking about using it up here. I don't want it to be confused with the grass. Let me see what else I have. This is for the darker areas where I need dark shading. Let me see. It's a little dark. But it's really fun. You just go to your fabric and you just think, okay, what is anywhere near close? I'm wondering if I should use this color on his forehead. Now I don't want to use this because it's got too much dark. But I could use it over here for his ear. I think that would be really good for his ear. So I will save this in the use pile. I don't think that's quite dark enough. But that's good for highlights. So I'll put this in the use pile. Let's see. I don't think that's brown enough. It doesn't have enough brown in it. And I've got this one. I'm worried it might be a little too patterned. If I could get enough like out of here, I think it would work. But otherwise, it's going to make him look a little bit like a leopard. Maybe what I'll do, use a little bit of this. This is a little dark. And if this side doesn't work for you, turn it over. I think I found my color. Oh, you are so good, Linda. Linda has a lot of great ideas. Use one of the back sides. In fact, let's see how this one looks. Ooh, I like that pretty good. I don't think that one's as good, but let's see. Okay, I'm going to bring this picture forward so you can see what I'm trying. This is what I'm looking for. So I think this is still too dark, but I think this one may be it. What do you think? Ah, great job, Linda. Thank you. That's why I love, this is as close as I can get to we're having y'all here at my house with me, helping me work. And I don't know about you. Sometimes I like to work alone, and sometimes I love, love, love getting input. And so now I'm going to make a big piece of this. So the first thing I want to do is get some more of my Pellon Easy Steam, which I'm loving. And I think I'll put it on this way. I always want to look underneath, make sure I don't have anything that shouldn't be ironed under there. Okay, excellent. And now I can put it right side up and do some quick drawing. Let's get this. I'm going to make it go up into his ear here. So, up into his ear. Oops. I just realized I ironed it to the wrong side. Okay, let me try this again. Let me get another piece of Easy Steam. And because this time I want the underneath to show. What a great idea to turn it over, use the other side, because it's just a lighter version of the front. All right, so here it stops right there. I'm going to line it up here. This is silly, but I do this. You know, this is common. You get inside your head. You are concentrating. Okay, I'm going to cut this loose. It's easier to work with a smaller piece of fabric. You know, this was left over from a Halloween project I did years ago where I wanted a bunch of different colors for pumpkins. And as you can see right here, I did the this has got adhesive on it too, and I did it on the wrong side. So I've done that before. All right. So now I'll put it this way, and I think I can use my pencil to draw this, but I want it high enough to be up on his ear. I'm not going to go, I don't think, well, actually, wow, this could be the whole top part of his head. Well, might as well. All right, so I have to be able to get this little part of the ear, this part of the ear. Oh, Blossom, Grommet. Okay. All right. So here I go. And all right. We'll do a little bit. Oh, the ear's not till down here. How'd I do that? That's what he must have done. Okay, so the ear's not until here. So I'll come down, do a little bit of this ear. All right, then come back around his head. A little bit more of that ear. And then around his head. Okay. This is going to work really well. I'm tickled. All right. So let me do this real quick and get this part. All right. Because once I can do some of this, then I can see my little guidelines again. But remember I told you the wonderful thing about art quilting is it's like you're 5 years old again. You're cutting out fabric instead of construction paper, and you're using glue, fusibles instead of just Elmer's glue, and you're creating a wonderful work of art that your friends and family will love just as much as your mother did it, as your mother did when you were little. So art quilting is very easy. And if you don't like what you've done, then just start over again. Grab another piece of fabric and do it again. You know, when I was doing my self-portrait, I had to start it all again because I just got too far off. All right, so now I have the edges, okay? See the parts of the ear and the face. All right, now what I'm going to do is try to draw his white patch so I can cut around his white patch. And you just kind of look underneath, make sure you're going the right direction. Actually, I don't even need all this. You know what I'm going to do? Wait till I show you what I'm going to do. Instead of trying to work around all of this, watch just a moment. Okay, let me cut out this white part right here. And I don't want to cut it too perfect because it is fur. It's not a hard plastic edge. Okay. All right. Let's look and see what we have. I think it's looking pretty good. All right. This part has to come out just there, just a little. Okay. So now get a straight pin, score it, because I don't have time to sit there and try to fiddle, trying to find just the right edge to pull. I couldn't believe the teacher of the class I took that first taught me that. I told her that right there was worth the whole cost of the class. That was such a good tip. So I'm going to come up here, put the ear in place, put this part of the ear in place. Let me make sure I'm up here high enough. This part. Okay. And then over here, oops, this needs to come over just a little. Now, oops, let me get this right too. Hold on. You know, we cut it out as if it's paper, but it is fabric. And so you're going to get a little movement, a little bending. That's okay. You just work with it, because even, if it looks a little puckery, once you put an iron on it, it'll just ease into place. But now right here, hello, Cheryl. Okay, here is where I've got all of this gray muzzle, and there's a whole lot of ins and outs. So instead of trying to cut that brown around this, I'm going to gently peel this up. Gently, because you will start fraying the edges. I will gently peel this up and back, then lay the brown down. Then I'm going to get a little bit of my glue for areas that no longer have some of the adhesive, and then come place this right back where it's supposed to be. Put a little glue there and press this. Now, this puppy is very similar to the ground he's on, so I'm going to have to make sure that I outline him and make sure that he has a little pop when it comes to. Like in here, I'm going to make sure I do some thread painting with darker colors and give him extra reason to pop out of the artwork. So there we go for tonight. I've done his ear, I've done the brown tan parts of his face, and I've done his left muzzle. When we come back next week, I hope to have the right muzzle done. I'll put his nose in place. I'll just keep working to block in his color. At this point, it's called color blocking. You're just blocking in the color. There's no detail yet. And the fun part comes when I start doing thread painting and have some of these dry clumps of grass. Oh, that's going to be fun. And for some of these thicker grasses, I'm going to use yarn and couch it. And I'm just going to put lots of texture in behind them. I'll put some green up. There's some areas that there are green things growing right here by them. So there's so much fun. And then the final thing that I will do is get out my ink tints and bring these to life. Oh, the cheetah fabric for grass. What a good, oh my goodness. That's a great idea. Way to go, Diane 57. I tell you what, becoming a new dog mommy has really made you on sharp and on the money. So that is wonderful. So anyway, I'll keep all my scraps. I will use them. All the little areas. This is, you come in here, you see there's a light little line that outlines his hip right here for his chest in between the leg. Lots of little areas for these little snippets. See, on his foot, this side has a little light area. So I'll be working on all of this. And I'll probably use thread painting to put some more gray, because look how the gray goes up into his tan. That's the perfect place to use thread painting. I can make it look very realistic with thread painting. Okay, guys, are there any questions you have for today? Any questions at all? If I can help you, I would love to see. Oh, real quick, let me just show you a couple little pictures. Let me turn off a light I've got back here. I'm trying to get more light in here so that you can see what I'm doing better. But real quickly, let me take you to the photos and show you. Let me see. Let me show you. Whoops, turn this around. Let me show you a couple fun little things. So let's see. Cheryl Lemon did a brand new block this week. It's so cute. So love it to bits. Let me see. Come on, picture. Come up, picture. Look at this quilt block. Is that just the cutest thing you've ever seen? So she is doing some really cool things. Here is another quilt that she is currently working on. Beautiful. Okay, now let me go back out here. And who else was it? Marcia. I wanted to show you her journal. Come on, Marcia's journal. It is just as cute as it can be. And I love it because for 2 Sundays we worked on journals. And I love her signature heart. Isn't that sweet? So way to go, Marcia. We love your journal. Now, there was somebody else that we were talking about. Oh, Diane 57's puppy. I bet you'd like to see her new little baby. New little baby. And he just looks adorable. And his name is Bear. And he's absolutely adorable. Isn't he cute? Looks like a little baby polar bear. Look at that face. Everybody say, ah. And I said, oh, the joy of puppy breath. Yay. The joy of puppy breath. So was there somebody else? Marcia, Nadine, Patricia, Susan. Susan was busy with a few things. Boy, Bonnie is cracking the whip on Miss Susan, keeping her on the straight and narrow. So look at this. This is a Christmas quilt they're doing red work on. And you know, red work, that's just the nickname for it, but it can be done any color, DMC floss. Red work came to be the name because turkey red was invented in the 1800s and was so much cheaper, everyone could afford to buy it and use it. So I've got Sunday, I'll show you some more pictures from Pat getting her new room all in shape. Let me see. Diana Wright, what did she sent me? She sent me something just recently. Let me see. Was it something about her pool? I don't know, but here's her cute little squirrel. Oh, I saw the cutest thing where a baby squirrel, look at this squirrel trying to get close to that pool water. Isn't that cute? So anyway, let me come back to y'all. Was there anything else that I was supposed to? He gives you kisses. Oh, that's wonderful, sweetheart. So I saw this morning, Alleyville, she helped save a baby squirrel from a tree that went down. Oh my God, it was the cutest little squirrel. They gave it Gatorade and then it was taking a nap in his hand. How cute. So, you kind of look at some of this stuff and you think, oh, it's so sad. And then you see they save a baby squirrel. So, all right, guys. Well, y'all are the best. And you've got my address if you'd like to join our Groups IO. Thank you very much. And it is so good to see Linda McCollum again and Teresa Louise and Robin. And I mean, this is so cool. Thank you so much. Hello, Kirsten. And we will keep working on this puppy quilt. And I'll take you through every step. And that way, then you can feel free and can feel confident to make your own art quilt. Well, y'all take really good care of yourself. Do something special just for you. I'll be back here Sunday afternoon, and have a good one. Take good care, everybody. Y'all are the best.